Last topic of the night, MLS is making some big changes. All right, MLS is flipping the calendar. All right, what the hell does that mean? All right, currently there's two different calendars within soccer. MLS has what they call, like I call it the summer calendar. They start in March and they finish in November. The rest of the world, pretty much, the big leagues, well, the major leagues like the Premiership, La Liga, Bundesliga, they play in the international calendar. It goes from August all the way through to May. And in order to be considered one of the top leagues in the world, you need to be on that international calendar. It's taken 2 years of debating, studying, analyzing, and they finally came together, the owners of MLS with Don Garber, the commissioner, and they have voted this week to change it. They're going from the summer calendar to the international calendar.
In 2027.
2027, yes. Okay, now, you may ask, well, what's the big deal? I want to throw something out here real quick. Okay. In America, where obviously the MLS is based, what happens at this time of year, right now, October, November, December? What is happening here in the United States? Well, go ahead.
I mean, it's the playoffs. It's the end of the year, so there's some teams playing, some teams not. And then you go into postseason, you go into off-season.
But the league as a whole is competing against the MLS and another major MLS, NFL, NFL and college football. College football is a huge, huge draw here in the United States. And I'm going to give you an example. Okay, the SEC championship game last year had 16.6 million viewers. The SEC championship game had 16.6 million viewers. While on at the exact same time was the MLS Cup, which had 468,000 viewers. So yeah, you just have this competing. And by the way, that was just the final for the MLS Cup. The playoffs, all through the playoffs, what are they competing against? They compete against other college football games, the NFL games. You just can't do it. Now that they moved to an international schedule, playoffs or the end of the season for the MLS is going to come in the spring. So it's going to come in April, May, possibly into June, depending on how they go. And they'll be competing against NHL and NBA early round playoffs, not the NFL, not the juggernaut of the NFL, and not college football. So
and then baseball kicking off too.
And baseball kicks off, but early season baseball, people pay attention to the opening day.
Sure.
And then they forget about it for a couple of weeks, or months. And that's where it's really going to help the MLS. So I think that's going to help as well. Now, part of this is also going to open up things like, hey, teams are going to be able to go spend more money. The people are going to be able to go. This is what a lot of the owners have wanted. This is what a lot of the players want. They don't want salary caps. They want you to be able to open the pocketbooks, bring more players in, expand it, and it's going to bring more and better players in. I believe some players in Europe refuse to come play here in the MLS until the end of their career because they're the summer's calendar. I think the international calendar is going to be just way better for everybody involved.
Well, this isn't going to open up cap space and everything. Not right away.
Not right away.
But what it does, it gives you a fair shake at, there's always been the guys, hey, there's some decent player that's kind of, 27, 20, considering, do I want to stick around in Europe to play another year? I'd rather go to MLS and, make some money and be kind of the face of a franchise. And this kind of lets you compete with guys now in the summer and the winter time.
Right. I think a lot of this is, as well, Brooks, is Don Garber and the owners seem to be a little bit on the same page, right? And they're moving in the same direction. So what I'm hearing is this is going to help drive the change of how much teams can spend. Teams want to spend more money. They want to bring big players. We've seen this year alone, we've seen Heung-min Son and Thomas Mueller, huge players in the game. Mueller towards the end of his career for sure.
Sure.
Heung-min Son, he's still got pace. He still scores goals. He's still having fun. We got to bring more players like that here just a little bit earlier in their age, and I think this is really going to help do that.
Sure.
So this is just a change helping move that forward.
Yeah.
So Brooks, why didn't the MLS do this earlier? Why has it taken 30 years to do this?
I think it's an understanding of the owners and just understanding how soccer works. And I think as more American owners have invested in Europe, I'm sure they all talk to their friends because they probably run in the same circles. And, there are probably a lot of guys that want to do deals with their friends so they can exchange money and help each other out, between European clubs and MLS where they can't do it, or it's because they're on different, schedules.
Yep.
So, it makes things interesting. And I'm sure there's time, like I said, there's times when players are him and Han about MLS versus, guy in EPL that's done in the EPL coming to MLS versus going to La Liga or Serie A. Like Kevin De Bruyne is a great example. Maybe if they're on the same calendar, maybe Kevin De Bruyne wouldn't have went to Napoli. Maybe he would have considered coming to MLS because it was really close with LA, some of those teams.
Yep.
So I think it just took a little time to understand that. And then
one of the other reasons, sorry, I don't mean, I'll let you finish. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think the other thing is people just like, well, what do we do in the wintertime? Well, like everyone always says this, well, what's the wintertime? It's super cold. There are a lot of leagues in Europe that play during the wintertime. Germany, like Nate always tells us, has the month off because it gets a little bitter cold there during the middle of the.
They do a holiday break. That's
they do.
Pretty much they call it.
They do. I believe the Russian league plays during the winter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
it's
they do.
Reason there.
They do. By the way, okay, so I'm gonna parlay that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, part of the reason is because back 10, 15, 20 years ago, they didn't have underground heating in a lot of these stadiums.
Correct.
Now they've got it. They didn't have the infrastructure around the stadium to facilitate, 10, 20, 30,000 fans coming in.
Yeah.
Now they do. We have soccer-specific stadiums here in the MLS in North America, and we can facilitate playing in the cold. Essentially, right now, if Toronto FC was still in the playoffs, games would be outside in Toronto, right?
It'd be very cold.
It'd be very cold.
There were a couple MLS finals there.
They've done it before, and that's what Don Garber said. He goes, we've done finals there before, which is in late November, early December. We've done this before. It is possible. Yeah. Yes, it's cold, but guess what? What they also do in the middle of the winter, Brooks? They play NFL games outside.
Correct.
Well. If they can do that, why can't we do it? It's done around the world. So the MLS said, you know what?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's go to the international calendar. We don't have to worry about the weather. We already deal with it. With the infrastructure set up, the stadiums are now set up with underground heating. Let's make the move. So that was one of the big things why they didn't do it earlier, because the facilities weren't quite there.
Yeah, nothing was totally built yet. Exactly. I mean, essentially, what was it? Sounders, Revs. Well, Atlanta United shares that stadium with. It was built on purpose for Atlanta United and the Falcons.
Yep.
But there's not a lot of teams really that only play in NFL stadiums anymore. I mean, most of them. Chicago Fire are going to get their own stadium here in 2027, which is going to be nice. So there's really only 2 to 3 teams that really play in NFL stadiums anymore that are MLS so they're big enough, for that. So yeah, everyone, the soccer specific stuff has really grown, and the soccer specific stadiums and the equipment needed and everything, and not having to share time because like the Fire do. Like when the NFL season comes, the Fire get booted to Bridgeview. Right. That's just how it is. It's like we don't want to tear up the field anymore. So if you guys have home games, they have to play their playoff game there. Like they got booted to Bridgeview. So
So all right, before you tell us about how this is going to be implemented, there was one other reason they've moved to an international calendar. Okay. Here in America, the MLS is still behind all 4 major sports. Okay. It's still lagging behind NFL, NBA,
NHL, MLB.
And MLB.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't understand is it's actually lagging behind EPL viewership here.
Yeah.
EPL viewership here outnumbers MLS viewership.
Oh, by a lot.
By a lot. So they want to start competing with that, okay? And this is a way to do that. And I got no problem with that. I got no problem with you, because you know what? I can now go and choose what games. I already do it. I already choose what games I want to watch. Am I watching the Bundesliga today? I'm watching the EPL today. I'm watching La Liga today. I'm watching Serie A today. Throw another league in there. It's fine. At least the games in the MLS, when they're played on Saturday and Sunday, they'll be at night. In the afternoon and night, whereas all the other games are played in the morning. So I have literally now we'll have a full day of soccer. It's going to be phenomenal.
I mean, if you think about it, if bars take advantage of it, bars, pubs, like they have all that stuff and they can show that. You have the EPL fans coming in the morning and then the afternoon games for Serie A or La Liga, and
so we get to stay at the bar all day long.
Yeah.
Hey,
some people could do it. Yeah,
Kyle.
Yeah.
Get that seat at the end of the Dog and Pony Show bar warmed up for me. I'm coming in. I'll be there all day for soccer.
But it makes it interesting. Like it can, now it can all run like that. I mean, because you wouldn't have MLS starting until February, and unfortunately. And what's interesting now too is now the important parts of the league, like you said, will be around the same time as everyone else.
Yeah.
So, EPL, their final season Champions League going on, so it'll be interesting to see how they compete with all that and the dates they pick for that as well to make sure they're not in the same days.
Agreed. Now, one of the issues is you can't quite have the current format that the league has. Okay, they're going to need to change the format a little bit. The playoffs are going to have to be updated a little bit. So there's some time to get to that. Yeah, I don't believe they've quite figured all that out yet, but
changing divisions.
But they will get there. They're going to have to because you're going to need to play teams home and away.
Well, that's what they are. And that's what they're doing.
You're going to need to play almost all the teams.
Well, this is what. Have you read about this? What they proposed to do?
I haven't quite got there because I've heard it's proposed and not finalized yet. So there's a lot to get to within this. Yeah.
The proposal is 6 divisions with 5 teams each. You play each team home and away, and then you play everyone else once.
Okay.
So that would be your full season. So you play your division twice, everyone once home and away, and then everyone once, and then obviously it flips the next year. If you played someone away, you play them at home and vice versa.
I like it.
Yes.
All right.
So you still play everyone, which is good.
All right. Anything else we need to know about this happening, Brooks, before we get to the paywall of Apple yet?
Yeah. So the last thing here is if everyone's curious about, well, when 2026 is done, how is MLS? Are they going to take a 5-month hiatus or a 6-month hiatus? Like,
how's that work, Brooks?
Yeah. So according to the MLS website, they have it here that the 2027-28 MLS regular season will begin in mid to late July 2027 and conclude with the Audi MLS Cup playoffs and MLS Cup presented by Audi in late May 2028. Like other major international leagues, MLS will observe a midwinter break from mid-December through early February with no league matches scheduled in January. Before the calendar change, MLS will stage a transition season from February 2027 to May 2027, featuring a 14-game regular season, playoffs, and MLS Cup. Those results will determine 2027 qualification for the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, Canadian Championship, Leagues Cup, and CONCACAF Champions Cup. So, and honestly, this schedule change too we forget about makes it interesting because we would always catch CONCACAF Champions Cup matches when Mexico and everyone else was kind of in the prime of their season.
Right.
And we were coming out of preseason playing these early games. Now we'll actually be in form.
Yeah.
Have the midwinter break will come out of or whatever, but I'm sure some teams will still play during the midwinter break every once in a while, depending on when CONCACAF Champions Cup games are. But it makes it interesting to see if MLS teams maybe can win a few more CONCACAF Champions Cups.
Very interesting. All right. I like where it's going. Brooks, you a fan of where this is going?
It had to happen. I think it's good. I mean, USL does it with USL Super League right now for the women, and then I think USL will do that at some point with their league with the men. And then now we just need Pro Rel happening in MLS, and then USL is Pro. I don't know. We'll see what happens with all this stuff.
The rumor is that once these big changes start getting into effect, Pro Rel could be coming. Yeah. That's going to be a lot harder to sell to those owners, though.
Yeah.
That will be tough. That's going to be tougher. All right. So the other big piece of news coming out of MLS is MLS has announced changes to its partnership with Apple. No more Paywall or MLS Season Pass. The deal will end in 2028-29, which is the deal with MLS and Apple ends 3.5 years early. So it now ends in 28-29. It's ending earlier than expected.
They still get a lot of money, though.
They still get a lot of money out of it.
Yeah.
I think this is a good thing. We'll get more viewers. You just have to sign up for Apple. You'll get more. You don't have to pay twice now. So more viewers watching the game as the games enter into the international season. Another good thing, right? I mean, hey, for someone put on the Facebook group, for once, I don't have to pay extra to watch game.
I know. I mean, I would pay the Apple fee and then because I watch the Next Pro stuff just because of the scouting stuff I do, and I'll watch. But like, I finally have to pay the extra $75 now, which is wonderful. Saves me money.
Yeah, it's great.
But
we've finally come out on the right end here.
Yeah, it is. And
thanks, MLS.
What's interesting is it Paramount Plus that's going to make the bid for a lot of this stuff? Like, is there going to be one channel like a Paramount Plus or a Fox that's going to have just all the domestic soccer on it?
Because currently, majority of your games are on Apple, but Fox does 34 games.
Yes, for MLS.
And for MLS, yes. For MLS, for 34 games. And then the finals on Fox. MLS Cup's on Fox.
Yes.
So what's going to happen here? After the 28-29 season ends, Who's going to make the bid? Who's going to have the winning bid? Is it going to be Paramount Plus? Is it going to be ESPN?
I don't see them wanting it again. I
Who's
think
gonna
they've
want-
moved on from soccer ESPN,
so.
which is a big mistake. I think it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a battle between like Amazon Prime. I think Prime would entertain
think
it
Prime.
because so many people use Prime because they have so much more than what Apple has. I think it's going to be Prime, Paramount, and Fox. That'll be the three big ones. I don't know if NBC Sports would want it. I mean they could do a whole day of just soccer channel if they wanted to.
I just
you
don't
know?
see them going in on it. I think they're so in on EPL and
Sure.
everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
You're right.
they had MLS at one point.
Maybe. I mean, probably a lot of the channels have had it. It's
Yeah.
been 30 plus years, right? All right. I mean, listen, I think the MLS is growing. This is a good step. I don't know if people really realize this is a big step forward in both ways for the league in expanding and just making it a better league. Currently, as it stands, according to God knows what, it is the 12th best league in the world.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to say, yeah, that's about right. By the way, the Saudi league that Ronaldo plays in is the 29th best league in the world.